Welcome to this month's planning committee. We've got, at the moment, there are 4 items on the agenda that we need to address. If you just
Can I just say, Julie, I think there's a further 2, one of which I've just sent to you, which we'll pick up when we get to that.
Okay, thank you. So, apologies for absence. Oh, election of chair. Sorry, I've missed that. Okay, well, how do we do this then, Ian?
Election of it. You elect first. Elect first.
Yeah, you've got to do an election first, Jim. You ask for anybody who might want to self-nominate, and then somebody needs to second them, and you take a vote on it.
Okay. Does anybody want to nominate themselves to be chair of the committee?
I would nominate you as chair. I would put you forward, Julie.
I'd be quite happy to second Julie as chair.
All right, thank you. So can we
Show of hands.
show of hands? Yeah, show of hands. Oh, I can't vote for me, can I?
Okay, that's carried. So, well, congratulations, Julie.
Now you've got the absence now.
Yeah, apologies about. Yeah, I've got it on here. It's just I've got it on my phone. Apologies for absence. Steve Crystal has offered his apologies for the evening. He is detained elsewhere. To consider any variations of order of business. So,
well, I mean, this is where we've
got an add-on.
Yeah, we've got potentially 1 or 2. I'll just need to run through the list when we get to that point. But we've certainly got 1 additional consultation to consider, possibly 2. So
okay, brilliant.
If everybody's happy that we consider those, then
just agree.
Fine. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Right, public participation. I understand that Councillor Farmer has had some representations made to him from members of the public, should we discuss, Ian, if I could ask your advice, do you think it's prudent to discuss them now, or should we wait until we look at the extra applications?
If Councillor Farmer could give us a quick summary of the particular application that he's had some public participation on, then we can decide whether we could deal with it now or pick it up under one of the other items.
Okay.
Earlier on today, well, later on today, I had neighbours call me regarding a application which I believe is currently to be proposed or discussed tonight, which is Bent Farm, Farley Hill, Matlock. The first thing I must say that I must declare an interest, because as a local resident, I am also the part of the group that is part of the Residents Association. Basically, to cut it down into a very snippet of information, the person who is a representative for the neighbourhood group has been contacted by an official today at the council. Mr. Gareth Griffiths wrote an official response to the applicant regarding Bent Farm, and he has stated in there some very difficult facts for the neighbours to go through, and the residents, multiple ones, have asked me to discuss it in tonight's meeting. So my thoughts are, would you want me to discuss that now, or shall we discuss that later?
So Julie, just for context then, so this we do have a request for consultation on Bent Farm, which came in on the 7th. It was too late to send out to all of you, but I've sent it out just now. So my suggestion would be that we add that to the list that we're considering this evening, and then Councillor Farmer can summarise, you know, the views of his neighbours when we get to that bit.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. I'm happy with that. Everybody else okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. So into the applications themselves then. So our first application is one we've seen before actually. It's Darley Hillside Methodist Church, Moor Lane, and it's still change of use of former Methodist church dwelling house with associated extension, widening of vehicular access and replacement windows. I think it came to the 18 months ago. Do you remember it, Caroline?
Yeah.
I remember it vaguely, yes.
Yeah. I remember at the time we looked at it, we didn't have any major concerns with it because I think our thoughts were that, you know, what else are you going to do with the building in that situation? What the use could there be for it?
Sorry, Julie, sorry to just interrupt. Steve appears to be joining the meeting.
Oh, okay, thank you. Brilliant. I'll just wait for Steve then.
Hello?
You're a bit dark, Steve.
Yeah, I'm in the car.
Oh, there we are. Hi. Hi,
Better.
Steve. Right. Thanks, Kathy. Right, excellent timing, actually. We're just getting on to the first planning application. So it's
Okay.
Darleydale Methodist Church, you know, Moor Lane.
Yeah.
It's resubmission. When we looked at it before, we were kind of the opinion that we didn't think that there would be anything else that could be done with the building. And I think we didn't offer objections, but I think we were concerned about the windows. And also, as my memory serves, I think we were asking that perhaps the tarmac be taken up and the driveway be made more porous, because there was quite a lot of parking associated with it. I've had another look at this, and my opinions haven't really changed. I'm not, you know, I'm quite happy for the change of use. Not happy with the proposed windows, and I'm not happy with the Velux windows in the roof. So in principle, I'm okay with it, but it's just, you know, perhaps I would want a few conditions put on it with regard to appearance. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does anybody else think?
Appearance and materials, I think, Julie, are the two important things on that building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've had a bit of a rough ride, bless them, the people that have been doing this. They've had to go to appeal and lost at appeal, and now they're having to resubmit again. They've had to wait for a period for the Methodist commissioners to find another use for the church, to advertise it, to see if they can find another use for it. They haven't, so now we're back at square one again.
Is this the one, Julie, that's Darley Hillside?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's the one where they were turned down and because they hadn't given enough opportunity to the local community, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they've re-advertised it, still no takers. So and actually when you look at the drawings as a building, it does lend itself very nicely to becoming residential. It's not your usual sort of looking church or chapel, so single story, and I'm happy with it. So
it's pretty well off the curbside, Julie, as well.
it is.
Yeah.
Step back.
Yeah, it just needs some sympathetic consideration for the windows.
Yes, yeah. And the extension as well is because it's going to be in the back corner.
Yeah. It's way back. I looked at it today.
Yeah, it's so
you know what I couldn't understand about that one. You know the access to the lane.
yes.
It's a pretty bad one, and all the wall along there is all down. I haven't got the plan here that he had originally. I've got it in the other room, but Is he modifying that wall to make the access better?
Widening the access, yeah.
So he's taking the wall that's just collapsed, is taking part of that down.
I don't know. I've not looked at what the state of it is at the moment, but I know it's to create a better access. The plan is to create a better access than what is already there.
Okay.
I don't know what state the wall is in at the moment. I've not been
pretty rough. The rhododendrons have had a go at it.
Oh right, yeah. Well, they're deadly, aren't they?
Yeah.
So okay, so I'd like to propose then that we offer no objections for change of use, but that we would ask for conditions to be put on the appearance and use of materials of the windows. Can I have a...
I'll second that. I'll second that,
Yeah.
Julie.
Show of hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You don't need to put your hand up, Steve.
No, no. It's dark anyway. You can't see me.
Probably
the best view of me you'll ever get, that, Julie.
So, okay, moving on to, this is a slightly difficult one because I don't know if anybody's been onto the Derbyshire Dales District website to look at it, but there's no associated documents with it. So actually, I don't know what conditions are trying to discharge. So I find it, obviously it's already passed. It's the land to the rear of
Doctor's surgery.
They're looking to discharge conditions on planning that was approved in 2017. I can't.
Is this where the building 100 houses?
Yeah, down to DFS.
Yeah. Okay. I don't. Can we actually comment on discharging of conditions?
Well, it's been sent to us, but I can't. There's nothing on the site, you know, on their website for us to look at. So
No, I had a look earlier.
So I propose that we just say we just pass no comment because, you know,
lack of information,
lack of details.
Yeah. So if I propose then that we just say no comment because of lack of information. So can I propose that? Second, thank you, Dave. All in favour?
I'm in favour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one, the Beeches, Bent Lane, Darley Dale. It's to replace 2 Velux windows on the front elevation with 2 dormer windows. This is actually a new house. It's built in stone, but it is fairly modern. I'd say it's less than 20 years old. And looking at the design and access statement from the architects, I think it actually looks better with the dormers rather than the Velux windows. So I've certainly got no objections personally. What
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
It's very different. It's better.
Got any? No.
No.
I'd sooner have dormers than windows. Yeah. I've got them in my roof. I'd sooner have dormers. Yeah. They're a lot better.
Okay, fantastic. So can we have a show of hands on that then? So I propose that we have no objections.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah. All in favour? Okay, so that's that one.
You're getting darker, Steve.
It's this light. It's shocking.
You have to pedal faster, Kathy.
I'll try.
Right.
More candles.
Now back to our old favourites. This is for Grove Cottage, Dale Road South, erection of 2 residential care units, class C2 usage. Grove Cottage, as you probably know, is the stone cottage adjoining the A6 that is part of the St Elphins development. And it sits at sort of 90 degrees to the road. Their original plan, they did have planning passed previously, to convert Grove Cottage into 2 residential care units. This, I believe, was then amended to demolish it and rebuild as 2 residential care units.
Right.
Now they've submitted further plans. They want to turn Grove Cottage into 2 residential units and then build 2 residential care units in the garden of Grove Cottage. So we're actually going to end up with 4 units instead of 2.
I would like to object just based on overdevelopment, Julie.
Yeah, but I've already commented on that before. They're overdeveloping.
Yeah, there is that. There is also the fact they do need to have some residential care units, because this has always been our argument all the way through, that they're moving all these elderly, wealthy people into the area who at the moment are fine and can live under extra care, but eventually there may come a day when they can't cope with extra care and they need residential care, and then they become a burden on the county council. And so we've always said that we wanted them to have their own residential care units, which was why we didn't object to Grove Cottage. So I'm not sure if it's now been passed that Grove Cottage will just be normal units. Do you know that?
Yeah, I just think what Audley tend to do is they come in, get planning permission for something, and then they come back a little bit later for another bite of the cherry and just say, "Well, we've changed our mind." They did the same with the they did exactly the same with the marketing suite, and you know the lodge, the gatehouse that was meant to be that was meant to be a police station, and then it was going to be the marketing suite, and then all of a sudden they've got people living in it, so therefore they need more marketing. They just keep using it as an excuse to build.
Yeah.
You know, get planning permission for one thing for a unit and then change their mind.
Yeah.
And I think it's unfair on the residents. Audley's own residents have got to continue having permissions thrust upon them to build more and more on a site that actually should be finished.
Yeah. I also noticed that the new build that they're proposing has a slightly strange look to it, not in keeping whatever with the other very, personally I think some of the buildings are rather nice. This particular one they're proposing is definitely not. It's got a peculiar angled roof. Definitely it's either a mission statement for them to say this is what we're going to do, but it's not favourable in my thoughts at all.
No. And I think probably under the neighbourhood plan, we could object to the appearance.
It's definitely not in keeping.
Yeah, because it's not. It isn't.
No.
Neither was Halford's up our road either, Julie, but they got that through.
Exactly.
Gosh, how do I know where that is? Yeah. Yeah.
Local landmark. I'm of the opinion then that we object to the 2 residential care units as a new build, and that we recommend that they go back to putting the residential care units within Grove Cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% agree with that. So I'd second that proposal.
Okay. Can we have hands?
Yeah.
So we're going to object and recommend the reuse of Grove Cottage. Yeah. As residential.
What's that last one you just sent in?
Right. Okay. Well, let's just bottom this one out, Dave, and then I'll talk to you about the 2 others which we may or may not want to consider.
Okay, so yep, so that's those ones then. That's all done, Ian.
Okay, so since the agenda was issued, then we've had two other consultation requests in. One is a fairly straightforward one, although again you've not had a chance to look at it, so you might want to do that. It's for 14 Vale Rise Matlock, Derbyshire. I don't know quite where that is. It's erection of a single-storey rear extension. We've also had one, as we mentioned earlier, Jason, and you alluded to, for Bent Farm. Now, sitting here thinking about it while we've been talking, I guess you've probably got two options. You could consider them tonight as late consultation requests. That does sort of leave you open to a challenge from somebody who might have wanted to make a representation through the public participation. The other option you've probably got, Julie, is to consider them in front of the full council on Thursday. There are no itemised list of planning applications for Thursday, so whatever's out there to be discussed and considered can be picked up by the full council.
Yeah.
So it's really a collective decision amongst you about the way you want to play it.
Well, I think I would favour that option because it's, you know, it's been dropped on us fairly late, you know, through no fault of anybody, the actual application, and obviously things that have also transpired. It would give us a bit of breathing space to talk about it and consider it and be prepared, you know, to discuss it properly and give it the due consideration that it deserves.
And what I can also do, Julie, I can send these out to the full council to say that we've discussed a number, but these two need to be considered by all 12 councils or 11 councils at the moment. And we could pick them both up there and you could give them some proper good quality airtime from an informed position.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question? The one which is a single story extension, do they actually even need planning permission these days? Because didn't they pass that under new permissions, that if it was a single story extension, you didn't actually need permission?
It's permitted development, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of new builds haven't got their permitted developments in them. Some of the councils took the permitted development rights out of new builds. So dependent, again, we do need to discuss this one because I don't even know where Vale Rise is.
No, I don't.
So I'm definitely of the proposal that we take the two late applications and we discuss them at full council, and we also ask for any public participation to be taken in as well.
Well, you know, we can't, obviously, Jason, we can't ask for public participation at this late stage, but there is an open invite at the council meeting for anybody to submit any written questions or topics for the full council. So as far as I'm aware, we've received nothing on any of these yet. But we do give people up until 12 o'clock or midday on the day of the council meeting. So that's still a possibility. And you know, the full makes sense to give all the councillors the chance to look through these and
makes sense.
Them, it seems to me.
So is Jason proposing that we defer till Thursday then?
Yeah, I propose that
I'll second that.
We defer the meeting. The correspondence is insufficiently had enough time to be able to be digested correctly, and we discussed it full council.
Yeah, I'm in favour of that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. So
I think that's a sensible decision.
I think we don't want to be rushing things.
Evening, Ian. Did you have a good week off?
I did, thank you, Steve. Already seems like months ago.
It will do tomorrow when I get on phone.
Yeah. Dave never rang me once, it was bliss.
I'm very good.
I did
right, okay, well, if that's everything, guys, I'm going to scoot.
Well, we've got the schedule of meetings, Julie. So that's really a question of when and how frequently you want to meet. Now, I sort of had a suggestion on this, which is now that you're the chair, that perhaps you and I have a conversation with the planning office. I'm not sure how they set their consultation deadlines, but it feels to me as if they should be taking account of our own timetables when they're doing this, so that they're not imposing consultation dates that don't work for us. I know that that's a bit difficult sometimes,
Through chair.
I feel like the tail's wagging the dog.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, Dave. Okay.
It might be a conversation you ought to have with Jason Atkin.
Yes, yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Guys, I'm going to go. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you later.
Okay.
All right.
See you, Steve. Take care.
Bye.
What's your feeling about broad timings, Julie? You know, monthly to tie in with the council meetings or differently?
You know, I've got sympathy with planning because obviously they've got no idea when applications are going to come into them. I think generally what they do is they give us 14 days to respond from when they send it to us, which is sometimes okay, we can do it, and sometimes we can't. It's just, if I ring them up, they will defer them. They'll give me another 14 days. So there is always that option to make sure that it falls within our next meeting.
I mean, I know it's difficult. I know they have a difficult job when they're sending a lot of stuff out, but when they send stuff in to us, if they're aware of our own timetable, then rather than just setting a standard 14 days, they would know when we were due to meet and consider them. But
haven't we already tried this?
We've tried it, Julie. I'll be honest with you, we've had that conversation with them and didn't get very far, but I think it feels as if now we've got a bit more organised and we've got a formal advisory committee with you as chair. It feels like we should have another go at it. But listen, hey, if you've got a different view, that's fine, you know.
No, I know. I'm a bit concerned that. So when was the 7th? That was Friday, was it? Of course.
Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Wednesday. I'm a bit concerned that I didn't know anything about this.
Well, I was off last week, otherwise I'd have picked it up. Yeah. It's just a bit of an unfortunate one, I think. I only picked it up because I'd logged on a bit early today just to get ready for the meeting and spotted it. So.
Yeah. You know, because we do need to be on the ball with them.
Julie.
Yes, Dave.
As chair, I think basically you ought to just enter some sort of dialogue with Jason Atkin and try and find out how to resolve the different, because we're in a consultee on this anyway.
Yeah.
It's a courtesy to us anyway. So we might put a different slant on it if you can have a conversation with him and find out really how their mechanisms clogging us up, mucking us up.
Yeah. Okay.
I've had a couple of conversations with him in the same vein.
Yeah.
And now you've got the chair for the committee, then it's prudent to do that probably.
Yeah. No,
he's got some planning slides for you and everything at the moment.
Oh right.
Training slides.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So Julie, my suggestion then will be that you have a conversation with Jason and I speak to the planning office tomorrow and just explain the dilemma and see if they've got any leeway at all.
That would be brilliant if you could.
Agree what we do next, yeah?
I would. I'd really appreciate that because it's very frustrating because you just think you've got everything, you've ticked everything, you've looked at everything, and then there's another one comes in.
Yeah.
Just like tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can sometimes be big ones, and you're not going to meet for 4 weeks, and you know you're not going to be able to get together to consult on, or you're going to have to call everybody together quickly, aren't you? You know.
Yeah.
I agree.
So okay, and I'll what do we want to do about dates? Are you happy for us to carry on the Monday before the main meeting, or does anybody have any strong feelings on when you would like the meetings to be?
Well, I think, can I just throw one in here? The other night when the community one was on, we got a clash with the trust, and we'd also got a clash with district.
Yeah.
So it might be that, from Ian's point of view or Sean's point of view, we can find out where all these committees are all operating, so we can have an inclusive list of dates, so we're not overlapping each other and getting clogged up in the same week.
Yeah. That was difficult with it clashing with the trust.
It was. It happened, and that's the end of it. But we can probably avoid that next time. We can just
Thursdays historically are always a big meeting night, aren't they? Because
yeah, Wednesday seems to be a reasonable day. Wednesday.
Yeah, but it's unfortunately it's too close to our meeting on our town council on the Thursday for me to do a report and get it submitted and sent out. You know, with the paper.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a problem with this? I think Dave's right. I think we've now got to look at all the committees we've created, look at any external committees that people like Jason might be drawn into, and the trust meetings as well, Karen, as you said. And we've got to come up with a timetable that avoids any clashes. But as a starting principle, does anybody have a problem with us penciling in a Monday before the town council meeting?
I'm sorry.
That's you, Caroline.
Oh, sorry.
I certainly don't. Not at all. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so assuming nothing else is competing for that Monday, Julie, then I'll book the next meeting for the Monday before the next council, and I'll start looking at synchronising these dates a bit.
The only thing I'm sort of conscious of there is that you and Sean don't work Mondays, do you?
I can always do a Monday meeting, that's okay. Monday day I go out. It's the only day Sharon doesn't work, but I can always do a Monday evening meeting, don't worry.
I'm conscious of putting on you. So
this is one of the nicest bits of the job, so it's not putting up on me at all, Julie.
Oh, bless you.
The allotments, isn't it, Ian? Yeah, now the allotments are a different ball game. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, well, we'll say the Monday before the next full town council meeting for our next meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. If we can, if we can take a bit of time and look at those 2 other applications ready for Thursday, then we'll be ahead of the game.
Okay, I'll send those out formally tomorrow then. Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks. Bye.